So today we are going to talk about the first chapter, chemistry, first chapter of 11th class chemistry. That is some basic concept of chemistry. Okay. So as we see in our daily life, that there are several examples we see in our daily life, such as formation of curd from milk, rusting of iron, burning of foods. These are the some of the example which shows the chemical reaction in our daily life. So we can say that the chemistry is the branch of science that studies the preparation, properties, structure, and reaction of materials. Substance is called chemistry. So the definition of chemistry can be written as the branch of science that studies the preparation, properties, structure, and reaction of material, substance is called chemistry. Okay, so this is the definition of chemistry. So what is the definition of chemistry? The branch of science that studies the preparation, properties, structure, and reaction of material substances is called chemistry. So if we see the development of chemistry, so the development of chemistry, how the chemistry was developed or emerged. Chemistry doesn't emerge by itself. Rather, it is a result of search of two interesting things. The main two interesting things were the search of philosophical stone, philosophical stone. As you have heard about the Paras Patthar, which has the capability to turn any metal into a gold, right? So chemistry was emerged in order to search for the philosophical stone. And another thing that took chemistry to be evolved is elixir of life. As you know that the amrit, as you heard in Hindi, amrit, with which was a liquid which leads to the immortality in human beings or any living beings, right? So in ancient people know some of the scientific phenomena which were before the modern science, right? Okay. In Europe, modern chemistry took shape in the 18th century, introduced by Arabs. As the Arab invasion has been done in the Europe, they left some of the knowledge of chemistry in European countries. And another culture, if we talk about the another culture such as India or China, in India, the chemistry was also known as Rasayan Shastra, Raskriya, Rasvidya. Okay, in ancient India, chemistry was called Rasayan Shastra, Raskriya, or Rasvidya. This Raskriya, Rasvidya, or Rasayan Shastra includes some of the subjects such as that includes metallurgy, medicines, manufacturing of cosmetics, okay. So these are some of the chemistry areas which includes in Rasayan Shastra. And if we talk about the development of chemistry in India, if we see the systematic excavation of Mohenjo-daro in Sindh and Harappa in Punjab province, then we can see that it proves the story of development of chemistry. How does it prove? Mm, if we see actually real excavation, then we can see the baked bricks to the break bricks were break sorry baked bricks were used for the construction work. So these are the example of development of chemistry which were seen in our ancient India. So what are they? They are baked bricks for construction work. Okay, so if we see the chemistry behind this, then they know if we treat any soil or raw soil in furnace, then it will harden and can be used in construction work. And they also know some like mass production of pottery. If we see real excavation, then we can see potteries. Pottery production in mass scale. Okay, and glazed pottery have been found. Glazed pottery. Gypsum. As we know, the gypsum was used as a cement for the construction work. Gypsum also the formula of gypsum is calcium sulfate into 2 molecule of water. This is also known as gypsum salt. Okay, so these are some of the example which shows that our ancient India was modern at that time. Okay, so another example is they use as you know that the copper is a very soft metal. They know if we mix copper with another metal, they will form they will strengthen the capability of copper. So they know the hardness how the copper become hardened. So the hardness of copper increased by alloy using tin and arsenic. If we mix copper with tin or arsenic, they will form a hardened copper material, right? Hardened alloy of copper, right? So there is a one name. There also there is a one terminology. There is a one terminology, Chalcolithic period. Okay, this is the term. The definition of this term is use of copper and stone. Use of copper and stone. The Chalcolithic period is the period which uses the copper and stone, right? This shows that the archaeological evidence. This archaeological evidence shows that the extraction of copper. So, if we go far back in time, like Rig Veda. According to Rig Veda, we can say that uh, as we know that the Rig Veda is a very ancient book, and in that book they know the tanning of leather and drying of cotton, right? So we know that they practice the tanning of leather and drying of cotton during 400 to 1000 BC. So according to Rig Veda, the they know the tanning of leather, tanning of leather, drying of cotton, etc. Right. So in Rig Veda, they knows how to tan the leather and dry the cotton. They also know some of the things like golden gloss of the black polished were still a chemical mystery. So if we go towards the northeast region, the archaeological finding shows the glossy gloss of golden gloss of black polished. Right. So these are some. These were the some. Um, these were the some. Inst- uh, these were the some utensils which shows that the actual temperature of the furnace could be maintained, and we can get the golden gloves of black polished, right? And if we go toward the Kautilya Arthashastra, the there is a one book named Kautilya Arthashastra. Kautilya Arthashastra. They knows the production of salt from sea. So actually, if we see today that if we put the seawater in ground, and if we provide heat to it, the water get evaporated, and the remaining was sea salt, right? So some of the discoveries were seen in our ancient India. So here we will talk now. We will talk about the some of the archaeological findings and some of the Veds, some of the scientists which were uh, which were more advanced at that if we see at that time. So North Indian archaeological sites. If we see North Indian archaeological sites, there is a there is evidence of copper utensils. Copper utensils are there, iron, gold, silver, ornaments, and other terracotta discs. Okay, these were some of the archaeological findings which shows the metal were used in several instruments, utensils, and ornaments. Uh, if we see if we see a book named Susrut Samhita, which tells about the importance of mercury at that time, importance of alkali, sorry, the importance of alkali at that time, right? So similarly, Charak Samhita was another book, which uh, which tells about the production of sulfuric acid, nitric acid, oxides of copper, zinc, and tin. These are some of the chemicals that were used and manufactured by our ancient scientists. In Charak Samhita, there is also a sulfide of zinc and copper it tells about how the sulfides of copper and zinc were made. Ras Upanishada. Ras Upanishada is another book which describes the preparation and production of gunpowder. As we know that the gunpowder is used to blast and to mm, uh, to to throw some metals from in the form of bullets from gun, right? So the in Ras Upanishada, the gunpowder was used. How the gunpowder was made were described. So another scientist was Nagarjuna, which told about the formation of mercury compound. Ras Sravana uses of various furnaces, crucibles for different purpose. As we know that um, every metal has different melting point and boiling point, so they requires different crucible for that. And in Ras Ravana, they told about the different crucibles for the different temperature of furnace. Another scientist was Charakpani, who told about the soap discovery and the mercury sulfide. Okay, so they were some of the chemical find, and they were um, the scientists, and they uses some of the chemical which were not discovered at that time. So we can say that our India is modern at that time. So painting in Ajanta and Ellora cave is still a mystery that how the paintings were made, right? Brihat Samhita. Brihat Samhita is another book which is like encyclopedia. The information of different things were in the Brihat Samhita, which in Brihat Samhita there is also the use of glutinous material. They also includes use of glutinous material. So far we have seen the development of chemistry in India. Now we will talk about the importance of chemistry. Importance of chemistry. Okay, so if we see in our daily life how the chemistry are important in our daily life, right? So we know that we eat curd, which is which is a fermented form of milk, right? And if we talk about the strengthen of metal, which is generally seen in the form of alloy. So alloy is a type of alloy is a combination of two metals, right? So the scientists used two metals with the different properties in order to create a uh, particular particular metal with the different properties with advanced form, right? So there are several useful in diverse areas such as weather pattern, functioning of brain, production of cements, cosmetics, production of fuel system, drugs, metal, alloy, etc. And the most important thing is the development of economy of the country, right? Development of economy of the country. So how does it affect the economy of the country? So if we see the production of fertilizers, Then why these fertilizers are made? Fertilizers are made in order to get a good result in crop production, right? So if the crop production is high yield, then there will be obviously the increment in the economy of the country. So we can say that the large scale production of fertilizer lead to the improvement in the economy of the country. Similarly, if we produce a large number of cosmetics or large number of healthcare products, we can supply it to the neighbor country or country which needs really country with very lower condition, with low economic with low economy. We can provide those country health, we will provide this our material to the poor country, or we can sell those product to other country in order to improve our economy of the country. So healthcare production. And the importance of chemistry also aimed at the improving the quality of life. aimed at improving the quality of life. How does it improve the quality of life? If we see in our daily life, how does chemistry affect our daily life? We use fridge, and the gas we used in refrigerator is chlorofluorocarbon, and these are the invention or synthetic gas which were discovered by scientists, and which leads to decrement in the temperature of the particular area, particular volume of the object, and which leads to preservation of materials that we eat or other product, right? And this is one of example. And another thing we can say that the microwave is also an invention of scientists, and which uses the rotation of polar molecules, right? So water is a polar molecule which rotates and heat up the food material, which quickly gives the fresh condition of food, which leads to fresh condition of food that then we can eat that particular food. So this is also an example of improving the quality of life. Some of name of medicine is Cephalin and Taxol. Cephalin and Taxol. This Taxol, this medicine used for the treatment of cancer, or we can say that they are medicine which are used in the cancer therapy. Right, and another name is AZT, or the full form of AZT is azithromycin, which is used for the treatment of AIDS. So these are the two medicines which are widely used for the therapy of cancer and AIDS respectively. Chemistry is also helping in reducing the environmental problem or environmental degradation. So as we know that the CFC is responsible for the greenhouse effect and ozone layer depletion, and scientists have discovered um, another another synthetic CFC or alternative of CFC for the refrigerator, and as CFC are used in the refrigerator to degrade the temperature, right? So similarly alternative of KFC is made which will similarly which will similar as CFC but will not harm the environment. So that's for today.